Welcome, everybody, to another episode of In the Library of Graphic Literature with your host, Wallace Ryan.
Yay! Boo, 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 boo.
And this is going to be the greatest episode of all time about the original gay characters.
Yay! And of course, our grand hostess, Luna. Yay! So yeah, we got a cool list. The original gay characters, not ones who were retroed.
That were changed to fit an agenda
Yeah,
or
we want some of the
projection.
original. Yeah, some who were gay right from the start.
Yeah.
Right? So and I like this because this is a very obscure list of some of the cooler characters actually.
Mm-hmm.
Now the first one, number 10, I actually don't have a comic for. It's Extrano. He was in the New Guardians. It was part of a regrettable series called Millennium, which was a crossover that just sucked. Right? And unfortunately, it continued into the New Guardians, which sort of died quickly after, right? But he was kind of a cool-looking character, very flamboyant.
Mm.
He was Hispanic and all that, and so very kind of cool-looking costume. But he didn't last long. It seemed, right? So he was gay from the start, but he just faded out. Poor fella. Now, our number 9 is a very obscure one, and it comes from one of my favorite comics, Hate.
Really?
Yeah, which is sort of like it's autobiographical, and one of my favorite sort of autobiographical comics of all time. Hate. Well, it's autobiographical, semi-autobiographical, I guess. But of all the stories in it, Collector Scum has to be one of my favorite. Not only for the gay character in it, but it reminds me of selling comics out at a flea market here years ago with Jason. And this story has it all, right? I read it to him one time, and he was like, "Hey, that's us!" Right? Anyway, this one has Buddy and Lisa's girlfriend there selling their books at their table and all that. And one of their friends drops by, this guy Phil, and she's all in love with him and all that. And Buddy's like, he is gay, and all that. And she just wouldn't believe it. And he says, "What? Get real, Lisa. Don't you just hear him say he likes to spill his juice over Eric Estrada?" And she says, "So that doesn't necessarily mean anything. What is this? I thought I was your boyfriend." But I mean, he was. I liked it. But you wouldn't tell because he's just drawn like any of the other characters and hangs out with this friend of his, Imelda, which Anyway, pretty cool. I liked Phil. I like Phil for that appearance. I'm not sure if that was his only appearance. But
and I'm sure everyone here is wondering what inspired this episode here today. So I figured we'd mention, I don't really want to be celebrated for my identity or my sexuality. I want to be celebrated for what I've done and what I have to offer to this great wide world and universe. So my legacy that I'm going to leave here with my modeling and all that kind of stuff and music and kindness, and that's the things I want to be celebrated for. So I'm sure you're dying to know which one of us is gay.
But we're not going to say.
We're not going to say, no.
Anyway, we like a bit of mystery.
Yeah.
Anyway, our next one is actually the next one I couldn't find a book for either. Was Peter Stanchek from Harbinger from Valiant Comics. It doesn't appear, but you just get right off the bat. You had the feeling there was something different about him at the time. It was just like, yeah. And after a while, people began to suspect, yeah, he's gay for sure. Now, no one ever said anything. It came out years later that they were planning to make him gay at the time and all that. But he came across, there was something about it.
Ooh, from the Gotham universe.
Oh, now this one. Oh, this was a different one. This is Renee Montoya. Dun, 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 dun. And this is just one of her many appearances at Gotham Central. She's a cop. She appears in this here and there. I probably should have found some pictures with her in there. But I mean, great character. It's not the end all and be all of her. She's just a great all around character. Sometimes especially these days when they invent a gay character or whatever, they seem just kind of hollow and not real. People like Phil, like Peter Stanchek, and even Renee. Renee, well, definitely she's very gay, but it's cool. They're loud and proud. Now this one has a 2-4. Oh no! Before we have this, we have another comic I don't have a copy of. Kevin Keller from Archie Comics. Now he was gay right from the start. Created as a gay character. More power to him, and he had his own comic too for a while.
I can't remember that character.
Yeah, this was about must be maybe 10 years ago, I guess, or something like that. But
okay.
he seemed to be fairly popular. But
I only knew like ones from the 90s.
Ah, okay. Now this one, we'll move on to our next is Foxglove and Hazel from the Sandman. This is their appearance in Death. Is it the High Cost of Living? That's the one they're in? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, because it's Chris Bachalo, great. But yeah, 2 great characters, and they just read as real too. This is a great thing about this. Well, I mean it's Neil writing it, so Neil's a damn good writer, and he can read people. He can read characters.
I've had my suspicions on a few other characters, but these ones we know for sure.
Oh yeah, are definite. Yeah, for sure.
Figured we give Wanda an honorable mention in here too.
Yes. And beautiful addition too. Look at this. This is the Absolute Death, which is part of the Absolute Sandman set. Absolute. Some of my favorite comics of all time.
I don't know if Wanda's in this one. She might be in another one.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I couldn't remember for the life of me. All right. And next after them comes probably, and I got books for all the rest of these here, which is cool.
That's good.
The next one is a character, and he wasn't announced, although the creator, John Byrne at the time, said he was created right from the start to be gay. And to be quite honest, even at the time when we were reading this comic, we were all like, okay, this person, okay, this Northstar guy, there's something going on here, right? Northstar, there was him and his sister. That's his sister there.
Okay.
And that's Northstar there. Now he came out, he actually gets married later on, right? But there's just something about the character. Oh, look. There's Newfoundland appears in this one. Is it in this one or the one before? I think it is. Actually, funny enough, we do have. I think. Yeah, no, I think this starts out in Newfoundland. I do believe. Oh, there. Yeah. And there he is. Northstar, but yeah, there was just something about him. You just sense that he was. I think there's just no appearance of any woman characters, any love interest whatsoever. And
show the people.
Oh, and
you can see.
Where is he? Jeez, where is he? Oh, there he is. Yeah. And he's just. But yeah, there's just. I don't know if it's the costume or what it was, but it was just like, you just had a feeling. Everyone had a feeling. And of course he comes out years later and he's gay, but it suits the character because he was really like that from the beginning, as opposed to like making Bobby Drake, Iceman, gay. It's just like, for God's sake, he was chasing after Jean Grey. He had a girlfriend. I mean, that'd always be down at the cafes in the village during the 60s, listening to the beat poets, and I mean he was out and out. There was no trace at all of gayness to him. He was obviously a straight male. It's just like, so it just don't ring true, right? One who does though is Hopi. Hopi, truly one of the great gay characters. Although I guess I can't remember if she does have some dalliances with men, but she really is a out gay character. She's now Maggie herself is definitely well, she's bi for sure, because she has love affairs with men and sort of has a hidden love affair with Hopi too all these years, right? I mean they sleep together. There's even shots with them having sex in their early days and stuff like that,
sprawled out on the bed.
Yeah, in bed together, stuff like that. But yeah, and it was. I love Hobie there.
Mm.
She looks like she's one mean ass girl. Hobie was definitely one of my favorite characters in comics during the '80s, and I mean the two of them together, Hobie and Maggie, they were two of the great women characters too in comics, I think. Right. Now we're getting down to our final two. Dun, 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 dun. Now these are some obscure ones here. This is actually one of my favorite graphic novels, and it's done by one of the first openly gay comic book artists, Howard Cruz. Stuck Rubber Baby. Now this is it's story. It's a loosely autobiographical. You can really tell it is about him, because where is it? It talks about art and story combine powerfully in this lyrical tale of a young man caught in the maelstrom of the civil rights movement and the entrenched homophobia of small-town America. Tolan Park, the son of an uneducated white carpenter, has grown up in the southern town of Clayfield in the 60s, a time of passion and believes in violent motion, and Clayfield's citizens are divided in the fight over segregation. And he's a civil rights activist. I always liked his art, but I mean it's
What year did it come out?
this was many years ago now. I think it was in the 80s, or I'm thinking the 90s actually. Let's see now here. 95. Original publication 1995. So I mean quite well ahead of a lot of trends and all that. I mean he put this out when a lot of people still weren't talking about gay issues or stuff like that, and I mean he was unapologetically, and I mean I loved him as a cartoonist. His sexuality and people's sexuality to me is irrelevant. It's what are their talents? Are they nice people? Can they do good comics? I don't care who you sleep with or what you sleep with in this world. You're welcome to, but I mean, and this is just a great story. It just happens to be about a young gay man, but the story is absolutely fabulous. Truly one of the great graphic novels about doing with gay characters. Definitely way up there.
What else do you have for us? Is that it?
Well, this is our last one now. Drum roll, please. And this is a character that it was in a graphic novel that had come out in the early '80s. So I mean, even much further ahead than Howard and Stuck Rubber Baby. This comes from Detectives Incorporated. Don McGregor, Marshall Rogers, and Gene Colan. Now the story actually is the Don McGregor and Marshall Rogers one. Yeah. Don. I'm always chatting with Don online, and this character, even at the time, I can remember reading this book, and it's a great book anyway. But reading the detective, they go out and the two detectives are going out to talk to this woman is missing, so they go out to talk to her girlfriend, essentially Ruth Hamilton. And this is it. This is without doubt the most obscure gay reference of any in comics. But it was really cool because I mean the way she talks about being in love with her and all that, it comes across as really human and all that. And she doesn't basically dwell on it. Then it's basically fine, solve this case for me and all that. But even at the time, I'll never forget it because reading it, especially in my 20s, there'd never been really any gay characters at all out there, but this one was really well done. It was just like, way to go, Don! You've brought in a cool gay character and made us care about her, right? So Don and Marshall, the late Marshall Rogers, great artist, gets our #1 spot in original gay characters. Way to go, Don! I'm gonna have to send him a link to this because I know he's gonna love it. And this really is one of my favorite comics anyway. The cover, it's too bad it's only a black and white version of the cover in this, but the cover itself just.
Yes, I know you love detectives. We're only watching like 3 hours of it today.
And this guy too. Marshall Rogers. He's a very unusual cartoonist. A lot of panels. He was a big panel guy. A lot of panels, but really
very detailed.
Yeah, very interesting style of drawing. And I mean, at first he had trouble getting into the industry, but then He broke in. He was most famous for Batman the Laughing Fish storyline, where the Joker has he infects these fish with his laughing gas or chemical, whatever, and they all have these faces on it, and he's trying to get them copyrighted or trademarked for him. All right. Anyway, but this, so I always loved Marshall, and then when this came out too, it was just like, well, I bought it right away because it was just like Don McGregor, who wrote Killraven, one of my favorite 70s comics, and Marshall Rogers, who did a lot of my favorite 70s comics also. So it was just like, oh, well, gotta buy it. I didn't even open it. I just picked it off the shelf and bought it right away. It was just like, oh, I know this is good. I didn't even open it to look at it. It was just saved it till I got home, right? But very cool. Very cool. And they should read this. I mean, this copy too that I have here, this is an older, because I looked at some of these copies are going for some fairs here. Let's see. Originally published, okay, this one, first printing, 2009. So this is over 10, this is almost 15 years old, right? It's and it hasn't been reprinted yet. So, I mean, all you other publishers, IDW, any other publishers, do us another cool edition, and stick the original cover in there in color, because it's absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous. Now we should tell people too. I've been doing the book of the day.
Yes.
We started yesterday. Luna is my producer for that little show.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the book that Wallace is currently reading for that day.
For that day, yeah. Which is both hard and easy because I'm reading at least multiple books, maybe 10 at a time, right? So I mean, every so often I'll finish one that goes back into the stack. Nowadays, though, if I buy a new book and I've read it when I was younger, I just put it on the shelf, which sounds terrible. Spending all kinds of money on a book and then just putting it on the shelf, right? But hey, it's a library, right?
It's that collector's bug.
It is. Well, that being said, I guess now next week, did we decide what we were going to do for next week's show?
Can't give away all the ideas.
Yes, that's true too. Yeah,
we'll find out.
Yeah, well, someone's bound to scoop us, right? So we're not going to tell you, but it will be a good one, and of course it will be fun as usual.
Yes, stay tuned.
Yay! Okay, thanks for having us over. Bye.